All right. All right. Seems like this is all working now. What is going on, everybody? It's been way too long since I've had a chance to jump in here and talk with all you guys. I'm sorry it's been so freaking long. Just with the holidays, everything's been so crazy. But today I got some serious gold for you to make up for all of it. Today I'm going to share with you the most common things we're running into as we're running and auditing physical therapy ad accounts. So I'm going to teach you 3 things that you need to be doing to go from just really just flushing money down the toilet, because 9 times out of 10, that's basically what clinics have been doing. They figured it out themselves or hired someone that didn't really know what they were doing, to go from that, just flushing money down the toilet, to having a data-backed growth machine. Okay, so there's some really basic things I'm going to show you how to do, and how to set up your campaigns, how to structure your campaigns, and just the really, really important thing that you have to do in order to actually have data that's going to help you determine if your ads are actually working. So many people don't know this. Most people know me as the Facebook guy, but my favorite thing is actually Google. Google's my favorite thing in the world. Every single time Google comes out with a new tool like Data Studio or Tag Manager, every single time that happens, I basically disappear for like 2 weeks to like get my certification in it and just completely nerd out and obsess over it for a while. So I love talking Google. So anytime any of you are having any issues running your Google campaigns, make a comment in this group, and I'd be happy to take a look at it and help you get through it. So if you're watching this video live, comment team live, catching the replay, comment team replay. I have something really, really special for you guys today. So not only am I going to walk you through the key things that you should be doing on your campaigns, that after I show you how to do this, you need to go and change it right now. And it takes like the 2 things I'm going to show you take 2 seconds, very, very quick things. And with one of my clients today that I just had a conversation with, we've increased his number of conversions while decreasing his ad spend by 30%, which is so cool. Like, I knew it was going to happen just by implementing what I'm about to show you here today. Very, very basic ad structure and ad campaign setup. Okay, so once I walk you through how to do this stuff, it takes only a couple seconds to implement it. And I promise you, it's going to drastically reduce your cost per lead and cost per conversion, and drastically increase the number of actions that you want your prospects to make as they're seeing your ads. Let me, I can't really see anyone who's actually on here. What up, Eric? Good to see you, man. Oh my God, guys, if you were at Greg Todd's Elite Mastermind in Clearwater Beach this last week, give GT some love, because that was honestly, I'm in a lot of masterminds, and that was by far my favorite one that I've ever been to. I feel like it's kind of a unicorn. When you join a mastermind, you always kind of hope that it's just this really amazing group of people, and having a coach that just genuinely just loves and is vested into you and not making money, invested in you. And that is just so what that group is. I mean, everyone's such a bunch of loving, giving group of experts, so good, such brilliant business owners, but they're all such givers, and they genuinely care, which tells you a lot about GT, because you attract what you are. So he's by far one of the best coaches I've ever had, and I'm really excited to be a part of this program. So if you were there, what's up? Super glad to see you guys there. So like I said, comment team live if you're here, comment team replay otherwise, and I'm going to do something special for everyone who catches this video. If you would like my team and I to audit your Google ads, give you a list of recommendations on how you can reduce the cost and improve the ROI on those Google ads, more than happy to do that. Just comment audit in the comments below, and we will run through your entire ad account and give you a worksheet of things that you need to do that's going to make your ads 10 times more effective. Okay, boom. Guys, if you have any questions on how to run or any questions about your Google ads, throw them in the comments below, and I'll try to get to them at the end. Okay, so today we're going to cover the 3 things that you should be doing in your ad accounts that everyone, and I mean every single clinic that I've started to work with, is doing wrong. Okay, so number 1 is having just the wrong campaign settings. Okay, settings like where your location targeting, just dropping a map around your area. There's a lot more detail that needs to be done. Otherwise, you're wasting a ton of money. Okay, number 2 is we're going to cover conversion tracking. And number 3, we're going to cover ad structures and how to group your different ads and the ads within them to maximize your ROI on these campaigns. So I have some really cool stuff that I'm going to share with you. That's why I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. All right, guys. Okay. So the very first thing that most people get wrong are their location settings. So I'm actually going to walk you through how to build this out in an actual campaign. But most people don't know this. Most clinics, when they set up a Google ad campaign, they just do everything that Google recommends. Don't ever do that. Okay. Google is a business and every single one of their recommendations is designed to make them money. Okay. So if you're optimizing for clicks, or if you follow this, people in or who show interest in your targeted location recommended by Google, that is going to give you a ton of wasted clicks and wasted money going to people like this, and like this account that we audited, Canada and Jamaica. Okay. Anyone that shows interest in the area, anyone who's ever done a Google search or was on a company website of that area, your ads can be shown to them. And that's going to account for, it counts for a lot of clicks. Show the costs in here. No, but look at this click-through. Look at these click-through rates in these countries that you're never going to show ads to. So it is incredibly important that when you set up your Google campaigns, let me show you how to do it. So I created a brand new account so I can walk you guys through how to set up a campaign the correct way and kind of show you how Google's kind of sneaky about how they have you, or how they recommend you set up your ad campaigns. So I'm going to set up a new campaign. We want to do leads. Okay. The goal of Google Ads is to capture those people that already know they need physical therapy and get them in the door and booking appointments. So we're going to choose leads because it focuses on conversions. I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a minute. Okay. So lead campaign, we're focusing on search for the scope of this video, and the goals that we have are phone calls and website visits. So put both of those in there because that's going to change how you set up your campaign. Okay, this is where the location-based stuff is incredibly important. Okay, so one in your network settings, Google always recommends and always auto checks the display network. So the display network is all the Google search partners, all the different places where you might see Google ads. Say you're reading someone's blog, your ads can show up there. Always, always, always turn this off. Okay, because Google makes money the more your ads get shown and the more your ads get clicked. That does not mean they're putting them in the places that you're going to get the highest quality clicks. Okay, so always turn off display network. Otherwise, a huge chunk of your budget is going to go to low quality clicks and you're going to waste a ton of money and not get results. Okay, so turn off display network. It's appropriate to turn on display network once you have your campaign extremely optimized and well refined, so you know and can track which places you actually want your those ads to be shown in. Okay, when you start out right out of the gate with the ad display network, it's going to eat up a ton of your budget and it's going to hurt you a lot. Okay, so just turn that stuff off. Make sure we don't have any questions. What's up, Bill, Joel, Eric? Really good to see you guys on here. If you have questions on Google, let me know. Okay, so when we're setting up location settings, it's really basic. I mean, just choose a city. Google's pretty good about, having you set that up. It's pretty basic. I live in Wauwatosa. For all the Scotties out there, what's up? Okay, so now here's the part where everyone doesn't see and where everyone wastes a ton of money. Google hides the location options kind of beneath this toggle, and it's auto selecting people in or who show in your targeted location. Okay, so this is anyone that's ever landed on a website or showed interest in the area that you're serving. And that's how you end up having a huge amount of your budget in Canada and Jamaica. This example that I actually chose is not a very good one. Usually the list is a lot bigger and a lot more of your budget has been used up on it. So what you actually want to do instead of this here is you want to choose people in or regularly in your target location. So this is just people that live there. Okay, you don't want to waste money on maybes. You want to make sure with our limited ad budget that we're hitting the people that are most likely to buy our stuff. Okay, so we're not going to cover audiences or anything else like that in the scope of this, but I do want to touch on bidding. Okay, Google Ads are the foundation of success with Google Ads is having your bidding set up properly. Okay, so of course Google recommends, and the first thing it allows you to do is to optimize for clicks. It's the easiest one. It'll get you the most clicks, but they're not always the most high quality clicks. Okay, what you really want to optimize your campaigns for are conversions. Now, I've only had, in all my years of running Google Ads for clinics, I've been doing it for about 4 years. I've had one clinic that actually had conversion tracking set up. Now, what do I mean by conversion tracking? Okay, conversion tracking means that when someone calls your clinic, when someone fills out one of your forms, when someone downloads one of your ebooks, those are conversions. Okay, and that is the only metric, that is the core metric that you need to be tracking with your Google Ads. It's crazy how many coaches, agencies, or just people who've done it themselves and are teaching other people how they set up their ads don't even know that conversion tracking is a thing, and they're not coaching it at all. So that's why we get all these really common questions like, oh, what should our click rate be, or what's a good cost per click? And the reason why there's so much ambiguity there and why no one actually has a good answer is because you can't possibly know if it's a good metric or a bad metric unless it's tied to revenue. Okay, so you have to set up conversion tracking, because then you can say, okay, well, my cost per click or my click-through rate's pretty low, but I'm getting all these conversions. So that even though it's a low click-through rate, you're getting a ton of conversions. So it's still a good click-through rate. Okay, it's still a good campaign. So conversion tracking is all about tying metrics directly to revenue. Okay, anything else that's not directly tied to revenue is a vanity metric. That's why there's so many people that are wondering, like, well, I have all these ads running. It looks like they're getting a lot of results, but I have no idea if they're actually working or not. It's because they don't have conversion tracking set up. Okay, so I can show you guys some tactics on how to set up conversion tracking. It's really easy. It is a little technical, but it's easy, and it's extremely important that you have it set up, because then you actually know if you're making money on your campaigns. And once you know actually how much it costs to acquire a customer from Google, that's when bidding comes really in handy, because now you can know what's the maximum bid you can make on certain keywords and still be profitable. All Google is a bunch of math problems. All it is numbers. Okay, so for now, because we don't have conversion tracking set up, just do clicks. Okay, let's make sure there's nothing crazy. Okay, see, being prompted by all these things to set up conversion tracking. Okay, make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, so what conversions should be tracked? Okay, you need to track phone calls on your website. You need to track ebook downloads. You need to track form submissions. If there's a couple videos on your website that if they watch a lot on, and you, like, let's say you have a video series on back pain and you want to record if someone watched all those videos as a conversion, you can set those up as a conversion as well. Okay. If you already do have conversion tracking set up, for example, if you're one of the rare few that actually have conversion tracking set up, and you're not getting any conversions, yikes, it's a scary place to be. Okay, it's not always the ads' fault. In most cases, your ads are getting a healthy click-through rate and you're getting a decent cost per click, but no one's converting on your website. Okay, one of the worst things that you can do with Google Ads is to sit there, acknowledge that they're not working, and do nothing. Okay, so what we do, if one of our clients' websites aren't working, we actually build out a landing page to start testing different calls to action, different images, and different messaging, so that we can, which drastically increases conversions. Okay, so if you're going to be running ads to a landing page, if the ads are doing a good job of driving traffic, you have to be willing to make modifications to your landing page, because a lot of the times it's just that you don't have a strong enough call to action or people are confused. So if you have ads running, you have conversion tracking set up, it's not really working, start trying different landing pages and make different specific landing pages specific to different ad groups. Okay, there's a lot that I can unpack there. It's kind of hard to just glaze over it, but for the sake of this video, we got to move on. So set up your conversion tracking. Make sure that you're analyzing the right data. Don't go off of clicks, cost per click, or click-through rate. Those are vanity metrics unless they're tied to revenue. So get conversion tracking set up. Okay. The number 3 thing that you absolutely should be doing that's going to drastically increase the ROI on your ad campaigns and give you so much more control over your ads is just having the right Google ad structure. Okay. So what Google typically recommends, got to put in a budget here. Okay, well, that's doing that. Let me just show you. So when you do run a report of all your Google ads, you need to have conversion tracking set up in there. Otherwise, all you see are costs, clicks, and click-through rate. These numbers don't tell you anything. But when you can link it back to actual business metrics of people calling and booking, now this data makes a lot more sense. And you can say, okay, it's cost me about $70 to get a person in my door. That's worth it. Okay, that's absolutely worth it. That's a great conversion rate. So you can't have clean and understand actionable data unless you have conversion tracking set up. So do yourself a favor, get it set up. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to talk to you about ad structures. So Google recommends that you just create an ad group and throw 100 of the keywords that are relevant to your business in that report. And that gives Google all the free range to just basically show their ads to anybody. Because most people just use broad match keywords, which means it only has to broadly have to do with that keyword. And then it can be shown. So if you just have physical therapy, for example, you're going to get a lot of people looking for physical therapy jobs or physical therapy universities. And that's going to use up a massive amount of your budget. Okay, so what we recommend, okay, and this is how you need to structure all of your campaigns. It's going to put it simply, it's going to give you a lot more control and give you a lot bigger ROI on your campaigns. It's called SKAG, SKAG, single keyword ad groups. This means you have a single ad group for every major keyword that you have. Okay, so what this allows you to do is to make sure that the keywords that you're bidding on are actually being spent on the search terms that you want, that you actually want them to be showing up for. Okay, so it allows you to be able to see on a granular level which keywords are actually driving the biggest results for your business. And most importantly, it allows you to do what's called tiered bidding. Okay, so it's within each one of these ad groups, let's say it's physical therapy near me. Okay, within each one of those ad groups, you have 3 different types of phrase matches on that keyword. You have broad match modified, which is just a plus sign in front of each word in physical therapy near me. You have exact match, and then you have phrase match. Those are the quotations around there. Then exact match, which is the brackets around it. So in each one of your ad groups, it should only have 1 keyword with 3 different match types. And the reason you want to do that is because we know for a fact that that we want to bid higher on exact match keywords versus a broad match keyword. So now we can make sure that we're bidding really low on those broad match physical therapy near me keywords, but bidding really high on the exact match physical therapy near me keywords, because we know those are the people that are most likely to take action. Now, on the grand scope of our entire Google ad campaign, we know that we're spending the most money on the keywords and the campaigns that have the most potential to make us money. Right now, most people just have a list of giant keywords. They don't know which ones are actually doing anything, and they're spending a ton of money on search terms and search queries. They're never actually going to make them money. So I would honestly say probably about 50% of your budget is being wasted on keywords that aren't doing anything for your business and being shown in countries that you're obviously not serving. Okay. So it's really important to break down your ad groups by individual keywords. Within each of those ad groups, have 3 different keyword match types. Okay, so broad match modified, it's a plus symbol in front of each one. Phrase match, which is quotations around each one. Then exact match, which is the brackets around each one. So now you're going to start being able to see which one of these are actually driving results for your business. Okay, there's one other thing that makes single keyword ad groups extremely powerful. Okay, so my favorite part about it is that you can take, now that each ad group has its 1 keyword, you can make sure those keywords are in the ad copy. Okay, when the keywords that you're actually bidding on are in the ad copy for your Google ads, the quality score of those ads goes up. So with Google, they dictate your reach and how often they're showing your ads based on your quality score, which is a combination of your keywords, how much does your ad copy relate to those keywords and those search queries people are looking up, then how much does that landing page resonate with the message of that ad. So when all of your ad groups are focused on one particular keyword, now you can make sure that keyword is in your ad focuses on that keyword and that problem that you're solving for that client. And if you're using custom landing pages, say you have a knee pain section of your website or a neck pain section of your website. If your keyword is neck pain, now you can make sure neck pain is in that ad. You can make sure it's going to the landing page about that ad, and your quality score is going to go through the roof, which means your cost per click is going to go way down. Your conversions are going to go way up. So the best thing that you guys can do walking away from this video is go into your current running ads, check your location settings, make sure that you have people living in or people in or regularly in your targeted area to make sure you're excluding all the people outside the country and outside the state that may have just visited one of the websites in that area. Make sure you do that. That's going to drastically reduce your costs. Next, go and make sure you turn off the display network, because that is that's kind of a later stage for your ad campaigns, because right now it's just going to waste it on a bunch of places that it doesn't make sense to show your ad. So get rid of Google search partners in the network settings. And when you're setting up the campaigns, add every single extension that you can. There's call extensions, text extensions, snippets. There's a lot of different things you can add on to your Google ad, okay? I kind of skipped over this before, but it's incredibly important, because let's think of it like a newspaper. If you have one ad, two ads right next to each other and they look the exact same, it's really easy to look over them. It's the same thing on Google. If there's one ad that doesn't have extensions, it's really plain Jane. Where if your ad shows up and has all these different extensions, it's like takes up 3 times the real estate, looks a lot bigger, and that much more likely that people are going to take the action that you want them to take. Especially call extensions and text extensions. People can actually call your clinic or text your clinic directly from the search engine results page. Okay, that's the first page you land on when you do a Google search. So extensions, they increase your quality score, they increase the real estate your ads take up, and they get them on your ads ASAP. Okay, because they make you stand out, and you're able to call out the key things about your business. Oh, sounds like I got some questions. Thanks, Max. Thanks, bud. What's up, Kristen? Brittany, what's up? I love you guys. To recap, make sure your campaign settings are right. Make sure you have location settings, only people that are in your area. Make sure your network settings are correct. Get rid of the display network. Make sure you add every extension that you possibly can, because that increases your quality score, which means it's going to decrease your costs, increase your conversions. Very, very simple things and modifications you can make to your campaigns right now. And number 2, the second thing you need to do is set up conversion tracking. It is so important, you guys. If you need help doing that, ask me, okay? You need to track your phone calls. You need to track your calls from ads. Calls from websites and calls from ads are 2 different conversion events that you need to account for, okay? And when you do set those up, make sure that you set it up so you only count calls that last longer than 60 seconds as conversions. You don't want spam or bots being counted as conversions. So that's a really easy thing to set up once you get in there. So calls from ads, calls from websites, ebook downloads, form submissions. You need to track all of those, okay? Because what you'll find, and I actually had one of my clients, really cool guy. So he's been running his own Google ads, and now I kind of just like support him and give him tips here and there. But he turned off a campaign because his click-through rate was so bad. And he thought it was just this tanking campaign. And then I set up conversion tracking for him, turned him back on to see what was actually going on. It turns out the campaign that had a really good click-through rate was just burning through his entire ad budget, because no one was actually taking actions on his website, even though the click-through rate was really high. The campaign that he thought was tanking because it had a really low click-through rate turned out to be the only one that was actually driving calls and appointments for his clinic. Okay, so data can be extremely misleading unless you have conversion tracking set up. So get it set up. And even to take it a step further, if you don't have conversion tracking set up, you can't actually determine what it costs to acquire a patient from Google, and therefore you can't determine how much you should bid on certain keywords to make sure that they're going to be profitable and position you well in the market. So conversion tracking is extremely important, you guys. You have to get it set up. Otherwise, you literally are flushing money down the toilet, no idea if it's actually driving results for your business. So set up conversion tracking. Number 3, make sure you have an ad structure that actually makes sense and gives you some sort of control over your data and your bidding. Okay, so I recommend a single keyword ad group. So every single one of your primary keywords, make it its own ad group within that ad group have 3 different match types for that keyword. Broad match, plus signs in front of every single word. Phrase match, quotations around the whole thing. And exact match, brackets around the whole thing. And now you're going to start going to be able to see, okay, what search queries are pulling up broad match? Are those queries I actually want to be bidding on? Probably not. So you reduce the bid that you have on broad match keywords. You increase the bid on phrase match and even higher on exact match, because we know those are the ones that result in the most conversions for our business. Okay, so SCAGs, once again, to put it simply, it gives you far more control over the effectiveness of your campaigns, where they're going, what you're spending on them, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier to tell what things are actually driving real business growth within your company. Okay, so highly recommend SCAGs. Don't listen to Google. Their recommendations are all based around making them money. I mean, they mean well, probably, but most of their recommendations cost you a ton of money. Okay, so be smart, have more control over your stuff. Do these 3 things that I told you to do, and if you're not sure if your campaigns are working, or if all this is just mumbo jumbo to you and you want me to audit your ad account, I would absolutely love to do it. If you want my team and I to take a look at your Google and ads and your campaigns, we'll audit the entire thing and give you a document exactly like the one I showed you previously, and tell you exactly what you should be doing that will drastically reduce your costs and the effectiveness of your Google campaigns. And actually let you know if Google makes sense for your business at this time, because there's a lot of people that are running ads that really shouldn't be running ads right now. So happy to help you guys in any way. If there are any questions, please drop them in the comments below and I'll address them in a future video. Later, guys.